In Part 1, we examined what we know so far of the lore of Starfield. At the center of this lore lies a pivotal theme, a recurring unknown element that leads us to ask one existential question: what is the greatest mystery of Starfield? There are many possible theories that one could derive from the evocative and suggestive nature of the information we've been given so far. In many instances, the organization known as Constellation has been referred to as
the last group of space explorers.
But why? Surely at this point, over 300 years in the future, where space exploration and the colonization of planets outside our solar system is commonplace, it would only become more expansive, wouldn't it? It's this reasoning that's led me to re-examine my thoughts on the matter. The information we have so far would lead us to believe that Constellation is referred to as the last group of space explorers simply because they are the only ones left, or the last in a lineage of idealists dedicated to traversing the frontiers of space, when maybe no one else is willing to. But, for this to be true, I feel there are only two likely possibilities. One is that Constellation is a far greater collective of explorers, spanning most of the colonized star systems, and much, if not all, of the space exploration of our galaxy is funneled directly through their program, similar to how NASA has been for decades. This would also indicate that private spaceflight and exploration is either severely limited or outlawed altogether. This seems to make some sense when you consider the prevalence of piracy and rogue elements in this universe, suggesting this may be the reason some choose to side with the Free Star Collective over the United Colonies. If this is the case, I would think that Constellation exists under the umbrella of the United Colonies, and other forms of spacefaring and exploration are done illegally by members of the Free Star Collective and rogue third-party colonies. It would also then speak to reason that those who choose not to live under the umbrella of the United Colonies would essentially trade safety and security for a sense of personal liberty and the need to explore and settle where they choose, independent of galactic law enforcement or a governing body. This idea also fits the NASA punk theme of poverty and societal decay amidst the ever-growing landscape of advanced technology available to the public. Ambushes, raiding parties, and guerrilla tactics would be used against the United Colonies to acquire and repurpose top-shelf armaments and spacecraft. To help combat the likely scenario that Constellation would encounter such dangers, the United Colonies trains, outfits, and supplies Constellation to a degree that makes them a formidable force against even the most dangerous foes, much like Trauma Team in the Cyberpunk universe.
Follow instructions.
This would mean that Constellation are not just explorers, but elite operatives and scientists of the United Colonies, feared and respected throughout the galaxy, and trained in disciplines of combat, navigation, first aid, mechanics, astronomy, and even archaeology. Sound familiar? The second possibility is that Constellation is a group of independent frontiersmen taking it upon themselves to keep the tradition of space exploration alive in a time where it's been deemed unnecessary, frivolous, or too dangerous. The general attitude about space exploration has shifted from one of mystery and intrigue to becoming taboo and uninteresting. Because of this, the once eager and curious spirit of adventure has been whittled down over time, culminating in a last-ditch effort by a few dreamers and intellectuals to keep space exploration alive. Maybe the technology to travel away from our galaxy hasn't been fully realized yet, and exploring outside the small pocket of the Milky Way known as the Settled Systems isn't possible without the aid of the United Colonies. who are far more concerned with securing the known systems through military dominance than expanding to other star systems. Gaining their support would also be difficult in a time of uneasy alliances and tensions building to a potential second colony war. When considering these themes and ideas, we can see that Starfield may have drawn inspiration from the corporate wars of Cyberpunk and how they created conflict between the NUSA, the Free State of Northern California, and other foreign governments. With this in mind, it would seem natural for Constellation to need as much aid and resources as possible. If Constellation were generally neutral and not directly affiliated with the United Colonies, this would open up opportunities to seek out the Freestar Collective's aid and potential recruits for your efforts, but may place you in direct conflict with the UC. As a member of Constellation, will you be galactic middlemen striving to see the bigger picture amidst the constant conflict of rival factions? Or is there something deeper, something more meaningful? Whatever their origin or place in the galaxy, Constellation is on the trail of something revelatory, something that could change the course of humanity forever. But what could it be? What does it mean? What is the key to unlocking everything? We'll explore this question further in Part 3 of the video series that seeks to decode the greatest mystery of Starfield.